So I get a lot of questions all the time of how do you prepare for the draft, right? How are you prepping? You prepping? How do you prep?
You read a lot of newspapers, right?
Oh, yeah. I read papers. I get the papers. You know what I do is I sit here. I talk to John Beck. I talk to Willie Anderson. I talk to,
All
pros. I talked to everybody. I talked to Dan Campbell last week.
Yeah.
He said he already has man crushes in this year's draft. But I talked to you. 844-204-RICH. I talked to you. Then I called Will Anderson. Willie, he'll be a grown-ass man very soon. Hey, I talked to you. I hear what you want to talk about. I hear what you're interested in your teams, what you need, what you got to do. So that's how I prep. And plus, hosting the Combine, 98% of the kids at the Combine comprise the draft. We just don't know the order. It's by position group and alphabetically within position group at the Combine, and then the draft just kind of orders it. The teams do that for you. So the draft is. And I just love getting to know the prospects through this show. Because you never know who they're going to turn out to be. You have an inkling. They got to be drafted in the right spot. And sometimes they're drafted in a spot it's not so great, and they still have to make the best of it and succeed. Or they have a narrative coming into the league that they've got to overcome. And they've got to figure it out for themselves sometimes, thrown in the deep end of the pool in certain locations around the country that have a very intense fan base who like to call into radio shows and bark a bit. And that person in 2020 thrown into the old mosh pit was a kid named Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, that guy from Alabama who had a terrific career at Alabama, just couldn't get over the top at Alabama for Nick Saban. Did some incredible things. One day, showed up at a national championship game and started it, only to get yanked in the middle of it and watch the kid who took over win the game against Georgia in front of the whole country in overtime. That kid's name was Tua Tagovailoa, and Jalen Hurts had to sit there and watch and took it on the chin, full class, excited, and showed up the next year. And actually got in a game of high importance for Alabama, stuck with the program, came up with the W. We all know his story. He winds up transferring to Oklahoma anyway in his final year of eligibility after Baker wins the Heisman, after Kyler Murray wins the Heisman. He shows up. He doesn't win the Heisman like Baker and Kyler, but he shows up at the podium. He lost it. Joe Burrow beat him out. So he's beaten out by Joe Burrow for the Heisman, and he doesn't fill Kyler Murray's shoes in that same way. And that's how he walks into the draft, wondering, can he really do it? Couldn't do it at Alabama. Tua had to take it over. Yeah, he did it first class. First class kid, got it. But really, can he really do it? We had Jalen Hurts on this program in 2020. God bless it. We came to work during the pandemic. I think I sprayed down this desk 15 times. We all did, right?
Every single day.
We walked in here like we were cooking and Breaking Bad.
Every single day.
Head to toe.
No one else is here.
The amount of Lysol and disinfectant we went through.
Good Lord.
Wow.
We were going through some things of this show. We didn't think there were Emmy nominations in the future. We had no idea what the future was. And Jalen Hurts comes on this program, and he just absolutely laid it all out on the line. I asked him, what's the team going to get if they draft you, Jalen Hurts? And here was his answer. What does an NFL team get with Jalen Hurts?
Well, I'm a dog. A relentless competitor, and I'm going to work my tail off every day, try to win ball games. I mean, I've done a pretty good job of that, and just most importantly, impacting the people around me to my best ability. I think that's the biggest thing is can a guy impact guys and bring guys with him, and just bring a presence about himself to the organization and to the program. So, I'm looking forward to what the future holds for me, and I'll just continue to work my tail off and try to take steps every day to be the best player, quarterback, and man I can be.
Mission accomplished. Draft goes down. The aforementioned Burrow and Tua get drafted in front of him. Justin Herbert, too, and Jordan Love, who is a quarterback of the moment in Green Bay, wouldn't you say? As we're waiting on the Aaron Rodgers trade. Hurts gets drafted by Philadelphia, and I'm sure the whole fan base is like, what are we doing? We got Carson Wentz to try and get back on the beam here.
Yep.
Carson Wentz, they finally put him in for Wentz. Finally, after Wentz just threw one pick after another, after another, after another. He plays 4 games. He winds up getting benched in the final game of the season. The whole country's watching because there were some playoff implications on the line. Winds up getting the starting gig the next year. Gets the team to the 7th seed. Tom Brady beats his ass. The rest of the Bucs bounce the Eagles, one and done. And what's this kid going to do now in his second full year of being a starting quarterback, except take the whole damn league over and take the Eagles to the Super Bowl? How about that? And in this league, where we're all wondering about who's being paid this and who's being paid that and what's the player willing to accept and what's the team willing to give, and that's roosting all over the Lamar Jackson conversation. And Deshaun Watson, with 20-some-odd civil cases hanging over his head, getting $230 million all guaranteed. That's resting over the entire league. And Kyler Murray signs anyway for less than that guaranteed, but for a whole bunch of change. 200, let's get that number for Kyler Murray. $230 million, $46 million a year. But in terms of guaranteed dollars, not as much as Deshaun Watson. Russell Wilson signs. Not for as much money guaranteed as Deshaun Watson. How are the Eagles going to get this done with Jalen Hurts? Well, Jalen says, you know what? I'll take $255 million over 5 years.
Yes,
happy to do that. $179.3 million in total guarantees, including $110 million fully guaranteed at signing and $126.5 million fully guaranteed by March of 2024. And on top of it, I'll get the first no-trade clause in Philadelphia Eagles history. I can even earn $15 million more in incentives to push my deal up to $274.3 through 2028. And I will become, at $51 million a year, the highest paid player in the history of the National Football League. That's the dog and Jalen Hurts. What a story.
Yeah.
What a story. If I had told him in that conversation in 2020 that this would happen, you know what he would have said?
I believe you.
Correct. Got it. Because I'm going to work. I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to show everybody what I've got beaten inside and what I can do with my head, my brain, my heart, my arms, and my legs. And that's why he's got the C on that chest. And that is why the Philadelphia Eagles are paying him that money, and not a single boo or a peep will you hear. That's an amazing story.
Yeah, it is.
Holy cow. If I had told you on the night that Tua replaced him in the national championship game, the kid that got replaced, he's going to be the highest paid player in the National Football League prior to a snap in 2023. He's going to be the highest paid player in the history of the National Football League. And the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be the team that pays him. What the hell are you smoking? I'll have what you're having.
You'd be getting tested after the show if you would have said that back then.
Do the Del Tufo, Jeff Walker head shake.
Uh-huh. No. So there you have it. What a story. Jalen Hurts, congratulations to you, sir. The power of belief in self. The power of it. It is Incalculable
Say it again, Rich.
power of belief in yourself. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.